A lot of people will appreciate that as well. Torvald got a bug fix. Fixed an issue where Nullify dealt a maximum of 640 damage over the course of its duration instead of 800. So also a good fix. And the one that is the most important here, folks, fixed an issue where players could not equip mastery emotes in the champion menu or the match lobby. There you have it.
Hooray!
So
very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so we're gonna kind of transition over here. The patch notes should be up any second, folks. We publish them. It just takes a minute for the cache to clear. So we'll also be having the lower thirds show with that as well coming up soon. But as you know, bugs are always still under investigation. We also have a bunch that were fixed. Make sure that, you know, whether it's PTS, live, that you use the Discord that we have, discord.gg/paladinsgame. And we also have a bug report form that is paladins.com/bugs. So they're your friends. Let's go into balance with, you know, Adonis the Bear Balance Master and Nico. I don't know what I should call it. Just an elf king?
The Orc Slayer. Yeah, it's like the elf.
Orc Slayer?
Orc Slayer,
Okay.
Nico. That's
Okay.
the best.
I like that shot. All right, so we're going to start here in balance. I'm going to go into just a couple quality of lives before kind of going into the champion ones that we're going to go over here, folks. And I'll be passing it to the designers here so they can elaborate a little bit more on some of these. So yeah, go ahead.
The first thing we have is some gamepad scoreboard improvements, mostly for console. Shoutouts to the AOC. Last year, they were pushing for this. Didn't really fit in our schedule, but we did get it in for this patch specifically. Gamepad players will now be able to enable something called the advanced scoreboard in their gameplay settings. That once done, it changes your scoreboard from a hold down select to open to a press to select to open. Which means it'll stay on screen. And then from there, players on gamepad will actually be able to select an individual player, drill in, and actually view their talents and cards. So a much long requested feature for gamepad players. Really excited to get that one in. We also have an item store undo button. There are some caveats to it, but now players, if you misbuy a card or change your mind, once you're in a match, there will be a button in the lower right-hand screen that you'll be able to select, and it will undo all the purchases you made in that instant. So if you end up closing the scoreboard, you will not be able to undo your purchase, excuse me. So you have to make that decision while still in the item store, excuse me. We also have a bunch of UI updates coming into this patch across multiple screens. We're trying to improve highlight states and visibility, readability, basically making it easier to navigate your menus. This is going to be a huge improvement, I think, for gamepad more so, making it more obvious what you're actually highlighted on in the menus. And then we also, along with that, have updates to our quest pane. So it's now a crystal instead of just kind of the paper parchment that it was before. And then we've also done some really massive improvements to commendations, add some animations. So the call out there when you're in post-match lobby and you want to commend your team will be much more obvious. Kevin, did you want to go over the last two?
Sure, yeah. So next one, so while we don't have lower thirds, I'll try to be more explicit with the descriptions here. So something that I was interested in having done but we didn't quite get it on release, definitely something people have been asking for Corvus. You now will have an UI indicator when you have Corvus's mark. Just that makes it a little bit more clear why you're getting healed, why, you know, what's going on. So while you are marked by Corvus, there will be, I believe it's in the lower left, the Corvus UI indicator. And then another one, Bomb King has had his ultimate animation slightly reworked, just a little bit cleaner, especially when he uses it after launching himself into the air. It'll be, rather than him looking like he's standing on the ground while he's flying through the air, the animation will just be a little bit cleaner all around.
All right.
And I
Excellent.
believe that is the extent of the UI,
Quality
general quality of life changes.
Mm-hmm. And we will go into character balance. So thank you, folks, for already sticking in. We know there's some hiccups. Some of you were saying that the link isn't working. It'll be up very shortly. There's just some issue with the cache in the back. of the website. So stick tight for those, but we'll keep going through these, and you'll be able to see not only what we go through, but everything else too that we didn't include in the show, just because we have a deadline, and we want to make sure we have enough time for Vora. So let's go into Imani. So Imani got the first on our list here. So looks like there's some abilities here. Her Frostbolt, AOC looked like they had some in this. I'll kind of let you take it away here, Adonis or Nico.
Sure, yeah, I can handle this one. So again, because of the lower thirds, I will go ahead and be explicit. I'll go ahead and read these changes out very briefly, but they will be on the patch notes, obviously, as well. So first off, for Imani, the Frostbolt, we have reduced the time between Frostbolt attacks from 0.8 seconds to 0.5 seconds. We have reduced the damage per Frostbolt from 650 to 410. I'm just going to go through all of them real quick, and then I'll go back and talk over each change. Elemental Shift, which is her stance swap. We have reduced the time to swap between stances from 1 second to 0.25 seconds. That's a significant change. And then we have some changes for talents as well. Pyromania.
Díganme si se me escucha bien.
Small change for this, or rather,
Ahora mismo están mencionando notas del parche. La verdad que sería mejor que mostraran el texto en lugar de tener que ver a estos payasos ahí disfrazados, pero bueno. Están hablando de Imani y al parecer cambios, pero a mí se me hace muy mal la forma en que los muestran. ¿Para qué nos los leen todos ellos y nada más necesitamos verlos nosotros mismos? Lo único interesante que a Corvus ya le van a poner cuando se teletransporta parece que ya va a ser más fácil saber hacia dónde va, ¿no? Porque antes nada desaparece.
Using abilities more swiftly and feeling like you're not losing precious time in the middle of that animation when you could be otherwise firing your Fireball or Frostbolt. The Frostbolt change itself, with the Pyromania change, we wanted to distinguish Frostbolt a little bit more as a play style. You'll be slinging out these Frostbolts much
Aquí ando usando mi English Speak English.
Splitting ice as well. So it's a fairly significant attack speed increase with that, and subsequently we reduced the damage per Frostbolt to accompany that. The Pyromania change.
Están leyendo nada más
I think we wanted
los balances que hay para personajes, güey, se la vuelan.
Well, obviously it felt effective, but it felt able to be used in a variety of situations, specifically
Lo que nos toca ver, güey, Turco.
Being able to know how you're going to use it. So rather than a cadence, now it's every fireball explodes, but with reduced damage and reduced AoE from the original Pyromania. So I am very much looking forward to the feedback we get.
Si me escuchas.
Changes. We can actually, if we want,
mi voz,
straight
Turco?
into the next champion as well, I think, Romanova, which is Lex, right? So for my Lex mains, hopefully you guys will enjoy this. I'm just going to keep talking.
No, keep going. I like this
all the
energy.
abilities to start off. Yeah, high energy. We've got orcs to kill. We've got Vora to reveal. I'm so excited. All right, so for you Lex mains out there, another AOC recommended change. This one I'm glad that we got in. You are now able to combat slide in the air.
Mira.
So you're no longer limited to combat slide
Lex ahora se puede deslizar en el aire.
And not crippled.
Repito, Lex se puede deslizar en el aire.
We had some sound and VFX.
Lex se puede deslizar en el aire nuevamente.
Very cool. I'm very happy with how it turned out.
Bien, bien, bien.
Lex is just slightly more utile in that sense. Retribution. So, when Retribution is used, this ability is no longer a random, just anyone in the match thing. This ability will now prioritize the player with the highest kill streak within 150 units of Lex. If there are no enemies within 150 units of Lex, Retribution will then prioritize the player with the highest kill streak outside of 150 units. So essentially there are two distance bands within 150 units and everything else. In addition to this change, Retribution can no longer target the same target twice in a row. So you can't reroll the same target. Unless they are probably literally the only available target on the entire map. So these changes were meant to provide just a little bit more agency to the player knowing that if there is an enemy within a certain distance, that they are going to be the one picked. If there are multiple enemies within a certain distance, then a soft priority is assigned to them based on kill streak, and that you're not going to be frustrated by I don't want this target, I'm going to re-roll, and you get the exact
Ahora el
same target.
identificador del ex ya no va a buscar el mismo objetivo dos veces y también va a buscar al que tenga la mayor racha de matanza. Bien, bien, buen cambio para Alex.
Always nice to have our team involved and invested in making some exciting gameplay changes. I think Lex mains are gonna have a lot of fun with them.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see all the Lexes doing combat slide in the air. So I hope there's videos of people just doing that in like the shooting range or something, like practicing it. I don't know. That's just me. But let's go into Victor. Looks like we got some balance changes here for Victor. So his talents, burst mode. You guys reduced the damage per shot. Do you want to? I guess it's pretty straightforward, but it looks like you also reduced the max fall off as well. What kind of went into why this decision was made? I know a lot of people, I think, complain about these kind of characters because we're also going to get into Vivian next on console, especially, right?
Nerf para Víctor, ya le bajaron, le van a bajar el daño a su talento de larga distancia, el de Burst Mode.
If that's you or just a massive fanboy. So I guess at a high level we're making some changes. We don't have time to go through all of the balance changes on the patch notes. Andrew's also getting some fall off adjustments, but what we're mostly looking to do is kind of shift the meta away from hit scan. We still want these characters to be good, but right now it's really not leaving a lot of room for the more projectile champions or characters like Drogos that like to hang in the air. And we don't really want to buff Drogos to like just continue a power creep. We'd rather take a look at the high end of hit scan champions and bring them down. So Victor's getting a couple changes here. One, burst mode damage per shot is going from 220 to 200 damage. His max damage fall off, which means, okay, if someone's really far away, it's doing this percentage of damage of the 200, is going from 59% to 65%. So at max range, you are still doing 130 damage per shot. So this is mostly going to affect flankers who are able to get to the backline and fight Victor. They're going to be taking less damage. But when Victor's engaging people from far away, he's still doing the same amount. And then the max damage threshold, before he was falling off to that 59% at 200 units, that's now going to be 175 units. So he's now capping off his damage fall.
Al parecer le bajan a Víctor su daño a mediana distancia para que no sea tan efectivo contra los flancos, pero a larga distancia seguirá siendo el mismo daño.
I know she has been complained about for a long time. We've done a multitude of changes, mostly focusing on her defensibility rather than her damage like we've done with Victor. So this was, a couple of these were AOC driven. You'll be able to see which ones specifically on the patch notes. Deflector shield, we have reduced the health from 1400 to 1200. Sentinels are getting a damage reduction per shot. Since they were adding 200 DPS, we've reduced the damage from 200 to 150, so they're adding 150 DPS. And then some card changes, contingency. This is the card that increases the shield health. The scaling is going down from 170 per level to 125 per level. One step ahead, which was the movement card, is getting a reduction from 6% per level to 4% per level. And then the scapegoat card, which was the damage interception, 50% of your damage received by Vivian went to her shield instead. That scaling is going down from 10% to 8%. So we think with this change specifically, we'll be able to see flanks.
Muchos nerfs para Vivian, le nerfean el escudo, le nerfean la carta de los escudos, le nerfean el daño a su ultimate de las bolas, le nerfean su carta de velocidad y le nerfean su talento de que disparas continuamente y haces más daño del 10% al 8%.
Not saying that it doesn't take skill on a high level player here, because I do know some really good Vivians.
The Vivian
Shots fired. But that's going to be it here just for the balance, because we do have to keep rolling, folks. We have a lot of stuff to get through. Not just the Battle Pass, not just the new champion, but we also, right now, coming up, have the first
Lo que dicen
ever
ellos en
video
YouTube sí
look
se escuchan,
at
¿verdad,
the
Turco?
Frozen Guard visual update. The environment team has worked so hard on this, so we are gonna go into it now. Enjoy.
It's pretty cool.
Vamos a ver el nuevo mapa de Frozen Guard, de guarida gélida. Se ve bastante bien, la verdad parece muy parecido a mapas de Overwatch.
Wow. So
Oh yeah.
that's probably one of my favorite
Muy bien.
reveal videos for updates we've done so far. Shout outs to the video team, killing it on that. Real quick before we go into our next segment, it's going to be the Battle Pass, so that's exciting. But real quick, the environment artist on this was Rick R. So I just want to give some shout outs to some of the people who worked on this. Specifically, we had Alex D doing the level design on that, and lighting was Sydney A, and VFX is Rollin. You all probably have heard Rollin's name a bunch when it comes to VFX here at Evil Mojo. So, give it a round of applause for them, and that'll be available this coming update, and it looks crispy clean. I love it. It's chilling my heart, to say the least. So
it's a very cool aesthetic. I need some more puns. Kevin, help me out here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with that bad pun, let's transition into something way hotter, and that's gonna be our Battle Pass. If you folks haven't realized it, it is kind of like a Witches and Wizards, but with a a D&D twist, I guess, or I guess not even D&D, but RPG kind of twist. It is called the Arcane Pax Battle Pass. And for this, many of you guessed from our clues that we sent out to our international influencers to post on social that the first, she's our first unlock. It's going to be the instant unlock, is Firebrand Tyra. So there's her splash.
La primera skin del nuevo
it.
pase de batalla. Tyra, no, se ve mucho mejor de lo que esperaba.
They made her super muscular too.
Genial.
So they really kind of pushed that on Tyra, since she
Buenísima la
looks
skin.
like a bruiser. So Tyra is going to obviously be our instant unlock, along with your loading frame that you probably saw us post on social this morning. We had the character artist for this was Zach M, and weapon Adam M, rigging was Jisoo, tech art Kyle H, animation and secondary was Brett, VFX Roland H, audio Thomas K, many of you know him as Waddles, and the splash was done by Yutafong. So we are probably going to be loading in here shortly into the game. And there it is. Look at her.
Bien.
That girl is on fire.
This skin, as they say, is pretty lit.
Wow. All right. We're really on this one. Thunderbrush is going to make sure we all get raises just for our puns. I can't confirm.
Wait, you guys are getting
Muy
raises?
padre la skin.
No, I
El
can't
cabello de
confirm
fuego,
that.
todo muy padre.
What? Nani?
No, this is a really exciting skin. I love the details on the cape specifically, and the hair piece that you actually saw at the beginning with the fire actually coming off. And I also really enjoy the weapon, the kind of lava-esque VFX that's pulsing throughout the gun.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite things in this is that they went the route of her
Bien,
as a
bien.
fire
El arma
witch,
muy padre también.
which is a little bit, you know, different. But the detail, like, yeah, we were just looking at the gun there, just seeing the fire burn, the flames, the way that they like kind of like fly up in the air, they kind of look like bats almost too. And that would be like Rollins VFX work, right? So
Yeah.
amazing job as per usual, Rollin. So cool, so cool. And I love that we're doing something like this because I know it was such a big request last year from people that we wanted some spoopy content for Halloween, and we didn't really get it last year, but we, even though it's not super on the spoopy side, we got some, you know, definitely some festive
Muy buena la skin, me hubiese gustado verla un poco más en tercera persona. Pero bueno, aquí la vamos a mostrar en el canal. En cuanto se pueda que liberen el PTS.
Oh, we're going to actually show you some voice lines. We almost forgot, folks. Don't worry. They're making sure we didn't forget to give you the voice lines.
Vamos a ver las voice lines de Tyra. Tienen el audio del juego muy bajito, entonces no se alcanza a escuchar, ¿eh? Eso es de origen.
Very tough. I like it. She sounds like you don't want to mess with her, especially with all like how muscular she is as well. Definitely a fire witch who you don't want to get caught in that path of flames. Right.
Shoutouts to Alex, who I think did a fantastic job with this, writing this voice pack. Aptly named, I suppose. The skin is the Firebrand Tyra. I think that's reflected well in her personality. So I'm very excited, not only for this skin, but for all the voice packs in this battle pass. I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Yep. And we're gonna go now into our level 10 unlock, folks, which is the Student of Magic, Vivian. So that is obviously what I was trying to mimic here.
Wow,
but we're gonna
diferente.
say that the concept here
muy diferente a lo que esperamos de Vivian.
Jasmine, character Matt G, weapon Adam M, rigging Jisoo, tech art Kyle H, animation Caitlin N, VFX Rollin, audio Thomas K, aka Waddles, and the splash was again done by Udafon. So we'll be getting in here in game in just a second to her. But, you know, even though she's going to take a couple of nerfs here, folks, we you know, we got to still give her some love in some way.
I don't want to ever hear you guys complaining that we...
El arma se ve muy bien de Vivian, la verdad.
We have a history of actually nerfing champions when we release skins for them.
I love the hat.
Big fan.
So we're going to go ahead and go over, I think, some of the visuals, the weapons, some abilities, and then we'll make sure to get this voice lines as well.
I love the effects on there. It's like, it's cool because you'd be like, why would a witch have a gun? But it works for her, you know? Oh, that effect.
I think
so
my new
cool.
favorite part... My new favorite part to this is the fact that that crystal will rotate while you're firing.
Ya dentro del juego se ve como más rarita, la skin.
Which I just think
se
is
veía mucho mejor el...
I haven't seen that part of the effects yet,
splash
so
art.
this is like a new surprise to me, so I am loving every minute of it.
This is definitely my favorite Vivian weapon. I like it because it's what you would imagine.
La mina, la mina como en forma de
modern witches, and obviously guns are still the superior weapon over staffs, but you're still taking that magic staff and converting it into a gun.
Oh yeah, and then for those of you who didn't realize, she was the one that some of you didn't get. The hints were mainly, see, there's the books, right there. Those are her friends.
Miren, sabía que los libros iban a ser los drones en este caso.
You know, contrary to popular belief, you need to study. And a lot of you had some really good guesses with the pyre symbols, thinking it was Furia. But now it is, this is Vivian. She's studying her magic via the pyre, you know, I guess. That was the goal here. And I think it works so well. Just the, you know, the colors for this in general are just great. So
Yeah.
Ah,
Flashback
genial
Simulator
ese
School.
spray,
Funny
genial,
looks.
genial el spray del
Let's listen to some voice
gatito.
ones
My
too.
best
We have
friends are
2
both.
more skins to get through, and
Yeah.
we do have to show off a deadly lady at the end.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we can hear some voice. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be quiet.
I guess I am pretty cool, huh? I'll let you see my library if you want. I should write this one down. Oh, hi. I knew
All
you
right.
would ask me to do that.
All right, special request. Can we hear one of the jokes?
Let's see. Let's see if our person monitoring
It's
can.
not about the friends we've made along the way. It's about the knowledge. Knowledge, as you know, is power.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. There you have it, folks. Knowledge is power, and Vivian's still trying to hang in there, even with these nerfs coming. But the next one, this is the one none of you probably understood in the clues completely. I think you got the character. Oh, my hat is falling off. But we have as your level 30 unlock.
A ver.
Honey King, Bomb King. So
The man, the
Bonnie.
myth, the bomb.
The legend.
Wow,
I've been waiting
qué raro.
so much for us to post this. I wanted to drop. So we tried to make so many puns and jokes.
Look at those
This
bombs.
is why I said tune in furries. Bomb King is a bear.
Also Bomb King, Beer Bomb
I'm trying to
King.
contain my laughter, but this is the best skin. We just, and it works so well. He's a bear wizard. I'm
my
in love.
spirit
And you'll
animal.
love him even more once you see not only his abilities, but I think his voice lines are my favorite out of all the ones that the designers and audio wrote for this patch. So we're gonna go into game, folks. Let's see our Honey King in action.
A ver, vamos a
He just
verlo.
has so much personality with his skin. It's absolutely fantastic.
Let's just listen to some voice
Ah,
lines
se
straight
ve
up.
muy padre, muy padre la skin.
You're all a bunch of wannabes.
Las bombas por primera vez han cambiado.
You are just magically sweet. I am the very magical Honey King. Honey King-Os are an explosive way to start your Saturday. Honey King is not responsible for any serious injury or death.
I see chat saying the bombs
showman.
are yours. the bombs are the way the faces on those bombs is a representation of how 2020 is going for us so far. For
We're
everyone in
here.
the world. We're here.
These are some of my
Everything's
favorite bombs.
fine.
Oh, and they have the
Las
little
bombas están muy
magic
padres.
around
Wow,
them. Oh my gosh.
wow. Esa también está
Grumpy.
padrísima.
He's not having any of it.
Yeah, he's also showing 2020 for us here.
Increíblemente
goodness.
trabajadas las
And
skins,
shout out to the
Esta
VFX. I
VK
don't think
creo
I
que
got
es
to
mi
do the call-outs
favorita
yet,
junto
so
a la de Tyra.
Before we do some more voice lines,
Muy,
I'll say
muy
some of
buenos
them.
efectos.
Jeff B was the concept artist on this. Character was done by Scott K. Weapon by Ryan T. Rigging, the legendary Jisoo. Tech art, we had Kyle H. For animation and secondary, we had Jim, Claire, Caitlin, and Brett. So he's obviously got a lot of people that have to work on him for doing these animations. And he is looking great. I love that one. We have also for VFX, obviously, Rollin, audio Thomas, and the splash art for him was done by Volmy Games. So
We should be able to not only show off the new Ultimate line, but also the new Ultimate animation with this.
O sea, la ulti
oh, the music's great
bien.
too.
No se alcanzó a apreciar muy bien, pero a ver, ahí vamos a verla de nuevo.
All right, I don't need Bomb Machine, Bomb
genial,
King anymore.
genial.
This is my go-to
El
with
efecto
Bomb
muy
King
padre.
now.
Give your king a bear hug.
Oh,
Muy
bear
padre la
hug.
canción.
Brett, who worked on that new animation, we're all big fans of.
Sin duda, la mejor skin en mi opinión
Of
hasta el
the
momento,
rework.
esta de
Not so
BK.
much of Brett, but the animation was great.
Wow. Okay. You know what, Brett? You did
I
a
had
fantastic.
I had just a little
Yeah,
little
okay,
vote towards
whatever.
Brett, of course. He knows it's all in good fun as he kills me in
Alright.
playtests in our Vora 1v1s.
Dang, sounds like there's some salt there. But
No,
we have
never.
to keep moving. We are almost through our skins here, and we have some special other ones for you before getting into Vora as well. So let's roll through it. I know people want to get to Vora, but we also have our level 50 unlock to go to here.
Vamos a ver la
Which
última.
is Underkeeper Zin.
Wow.
So for those who were guessing, you all had really good guesses. Tiberius was a really good guess because of the sword. But Zin is finally he hasn't gotten a skin in a very long time. So this is actually great that Zin is getting a skin. And
El splash art se ve muy,
this
muy
is the
padre,
year of
muy,
turning
muy, muy, muy
our
padre.
characters into silver-haired, kings, I guess. I don't know. I would assume he might be a king because of that crown. Like, he would be the king of the elves. But we'll see. We'll see here. I'll let you maybe go into a lot of what inspired some of this for you with the design, because you all work on these as well with the art team, right? With like deciding if the animations are cool.
Muy
I just
bien,
wanted to
Skin.
kind of ask you guys as designers how you get involved with the team when these skins are being made and everything, and the decisions being made.
Yeah, so art normally takes point. We'll talk about generally themes and ideas that we have, and then art, because our team's just amazing, kind of runs with it after initial concepting, and then design team's there just to provide feedback.
Se ve
but
muy padre.
Generally, it's never this is.
Creo
like
que
the
aún
wrong
así me gusta
direction.
más la de BK, pero esta
99
edición también
times
está
out of
muy,
100.
muy, muy chingona.
Really excited with the
En
art
general
team,
las
what they
cuatro
cooked up, and
skins,
then we'll kind of take the
buenísimas.
character into a
Buenísimas las cuatro.
direction with their voice lines from there.
I'll absolutely second that. I think I'm like Kevin said, almost always extremely happy and very excited for what our team comes up with. I think the biggest input, or one of the biggest inputs that our design team had this patch was, for example, raising the iron sights on Vivian's element.
Ahí vemos la nueva estampa de muerte que va a haber, una bota con una ranita, también está muy, muy padre.
We have to a gameplay kind of concern, at least from my end. Otherwise, I'm always super happy with the visuals.
See that little newt in a boot?
Are we spoiling the newt?
It was already shown.
Might be my
You missed
favorite
it
piece
while you
of
were
content.
talking. Yeah, this skin's really cool though. For all you inner edgelords and Androxus mains. This is my favorite Zen.
Mírenla, la estampa de muerte, la ranita en una bota, muy padre.
And aesthetically, especially when combined with black or charcoal. So this skin's right up my inner edgelord alley.
Oh yeah,
It's a boot
and on
newt.
top of that, we can probably recruit some. We can probably recruit some of the Smite people that came to play Tsukuyomi. When they were announcing that he was coming to Smite, I told our coworkers over at the Titan Forge games, I was like, "Yeah, well, we'll match your Tsukuyomi with silver hair with our Zin with silver hair. Get wrecked." Ooh.
Now this skin has kind of an interesting.
Wait, I think we're gonna listen to some voice lines real quick before.
Yeah, this skin is an interesting personality, something that we trying something a little bit new. So yeah, let's go ahead and hear some voice lines real quick.
I can't wait to show you all my favorite toys! What is that damned light in the ceiling? Oh, somebody kill it! Quickly! There is no one quite as sharp as I! You can be my pet! What part do you want to lose as penance?
I like that he got an attitude. Like, he definitely sounds like he's of some sort of royalty, even if he's not meant to be. So, I like that a lot. But with that said, we will go through our, before we go into the next section, because we still got a little bit of ways to go, we are going to go through our recolors really fast. You know, these are great.
Vamos a ver los
and these are your
recolors
level 70, 90, 100,
de las skins. Vamos a ver. Otra vez van a dar doble skin del mismo campeón.
As our first here.
Okay.
I like
Está la de
the
Tyra en
first one
azul.
because of the blue flames, and technically the blue in
Fuego
the flame
azul.
is the hottest, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Bien.
So she's hot.
This might be one of my favorites.
Aún no se sabe, pero yo lo más seguro que ahora mismo anuncien. Cuando hacen
it was
el
hard to like
PTS.
resist not doing this one, but it was already hard enough. Like I couldn't
Casi
find
siempre es
a
como
White
15
Wizard,
días antes de
hat
que
like
salga el nuevo
hers,
parche, algo así.
So I had to like make one out of foam. And I was like, I know I'm not finding
Aquí
a
el
turquoise
recolor de
one.
Vivian.
I was like,
Yeah,
they
this
like
is-
literally only sell like black witch hats or like the ones like Adonis is wearing for the Bomb King. So, but she looks
This
great.
is
and the
novice
colors.
Vivian, right?
Novice, yes, novice Vivian. But you know, she doesn't really look like a novice. But you know, don't judge a book by its cover. So next
nice.
we're going to
Yeah,
Polar Bear.
But really, come on now. Look at this thing.
Oh, mira, muy padre
Polar
la
Bear
de
Bomb
BK.
King.
This is the best skin in the battle pass. This is not even a contest.
This is definitely.
Kevin's not biased.
I'm not biased at all. Look at those bombs. Look at the one in the lower left. Oh, he's so cute with his big eyes.
They're gonna give people nightmares, but I love it. We're here for it.
Explode for me.
Explodes. And then last but not least, we have Forest Stalker Zin, which is what
Oh, look, it's me.
Nico is supposed to be looking like today with us.
Y la de Shin acá en
Kevin's
amarillo,
used
como
to
un
mirror
tono
every
más
day.
humano, también se ve
I
bien.
wake up, I reaffirm my elf status, and then I go out and get things done.
Okay,
That's
and
me.
1-to-1.
I even have the
Este
ears.
compa
Gorgeous
está
hair,
disfrazado,
by the
ya los veo.
Thank you.
La
I realized this morning
Romanova.
that I misplaced my hairbrush. And I didn't
Romanova
realize
está
how important
disfrazada de Vivian, el
Nah,
Guy
not really.
Resneco de Shin y
well,
y Evil
with
Moyo
that, we're gonna move
Adanas
on
de
to our
BK.
next skin that will be coming in this pack as
Ay,
well.
Dios.
We have a special Christmas skin for all of y'all, but it's not so holly jolly as it is very scary. We have Krampus. Literally, Krampus.
You,
What?
Krampus.
Krampus.
Mira,
You
nueva
better
skin
watch
para
out. You
Round.
better
Wow,
not
wow,
cry.
wow.
You better watch out.
Nadie se lo
you better
esperaba.
watch out.
Oh, I'm crying.
You know what I mean?
If that thing's chasing me, I'm
scared.
crying.
I'm scared.
I'm going full fetal position. Like you can
Wow,
have
se
me.
ve muy padre también.
And
There's
with
no getting away from
this
him.
skin, there's going to be a rework to the festive chest, similar to how the worldwide was, so that it's not going to be little items, I think, like weapons and everything. It'll be purely skins and different ones, but also this is where you'll get that, and that will be November 25th. So look out for the Krampus. I wouldn't get in his
Esta
way.
skin para noviembre 25, la de Round.
Other than that, I'm just going to say here, real quick, we're just going to have 2 chests coming out. There's one on November 4th coming called the Dangerous Heroines chest. The contents in that are strictly Street Style Maeve, Daywalker Vivian, Shore Patrol Leon, Street Forged Imani, Gunslinger Tyra, Battlesuit Angel Furia, Iron Madam Ainara, Divine Saris. So that one, it's like some of the skins, you might have seen some of them in a thing before, in a chest before, but like Gunslinger Tyra, for instance, hasn't been in one yet. And I'm trying to remember, I don't know, I think we've had Street Style Maeve in one, but I know a lot of people still really want to get Street Style Maeve still. So awesome, love when they do these. And then our last one here is the Beyond Science and Fiction, available November 25th, will be 400 crystals. And in that, it's going to be Stellar Protector Vora, which you will see when we get into Vora, so get hype, as well as Battlesuit Godslayer Androxus, Steel Forged Barrack, Omega Dredge, Crime Fighter Shaolin, and the Obsidian War.
Están hablando de próximos cofres que van a salir con las skins. Al parecer uno va a traer una skin de Vora, de Stellar.
In this update, but very exciting ones, I think. Like there's some content that you couldn't get in either of them before, other than in a battle pass. So now, before we get into Vora, we have a very special treat for y'all. The first ever look of the finalized map of the realm. Now, many of you know that we have gone through and sent out pieces of the map, well, Atlas did, to 4 of our influencers that you probably saw on Twitter that we retweeted with videos, getting packages, and there was like a parchment version of the map. It had less detail because it was Atlas, right? But here it is. Now, Alex M was who did all of the artwork for this, but it's the lore team.
Aquí vemos
who
el
also
mapa.
worked with Alex
Nada más que no
to
se ve muy bien las
pinpoint
letras.
and make sure we
Pero
know
bueno, ahí lo
exactly
tienen.
where everything is meant to be placed if we didn't already have that solidified. We wanted to do this for the fans because we know that we, in the past, have not had every bit of information there that we could have had for you. And this is a start in the right direction, I feel, if we already haven't been going that way for you. So this will be available too on social media very shortly if it already isn't, for you to look at yourself and have saved to your own computer, maybe even make your background on your computer of if you're really into that. So I hope you all are really enjoying that. I know Nico pretty much leads our meetings if we're in there for the lore team, so I know he's probably super excited about us finally showing that as well.
Yes, I'm super hyped when people get excited about the lore. I know a lot of people would love to have even more stuff, but yeah, but we're still, we're doing our best on that front.
Yeah, and I just heard from a little birdie in my ear that we are going into Vora. Now, if you haven't seen it, folks, you'll see it here. We're going to replay the
vamos
trailer
con Vora.
for her before we go into her and her lore.
Están podando aquí cerca del jardín, así es que mucho ruido, por eso casi no hablo.
We trusted you with our lives, goddess. You told us the seal held evil at bay. But we fell prey to a different kind of evil. And so, I choose a stronger path. I choose the power to protect myself. I am coming for you, goddess. You and your realm's peace. No matter what game you play, I will sweep the board of your bombs. Go ahead, warn them. I will not be stopped. Darkness will engulf this world, and I will be its herald.
Bueno, es el tráiler que ya habíamos visto. Vamos a ver qué más dicen.
Wow.
Could we classify her as avourable, or is that like a little too far?
She's gonna rip your head off, Kevin.
Yeah, actually, that's fair.
There's some red flags. If you're
Devora
interested.
you. She's gonna devora you. Anyways, so that was Vora. I know that we are trying to make sure we fit as much of her in-game play here as we can, so we're going to transition over to that as soon as we can. I know we have our splash art as well here. There we go. And while that's up, would you mind giving us some lore here, Nico?
Yeah, I can go ahead and read you the lore blurb and just talk a little bit about that. So,
el splash art muy bueno, también ya lo hemos visto.
Devoted to Io, the moon goddess. Her sacred martial order was one tasked with protecting the ancient seals, but even they did not know the extent of the chaos beneath. Feeling forsaken by her goddess, surrounded by unanswered prayers and broken bodies, she has chosen to embrace that chaos. The realm is on the path to self-destruction, but she will deliver it from that fate. She brings the end of these wars, of that suffering, an end to everything. Those who know of her dread her coming, for she is Vora, harbinger of the end of the realm, and they are not prepared. So she just, I could talk for many minutes about this, but the TLDR, the gist of it is she is one of a sacred martial order who worshipped Io and kept these seals protected. Io, unfortunately, was not present during the conflict that was brought to the Shattered Desert and subsequently to her village. Most of her friends, family, and order were killed, and she essentially is left mostly alone in the world. She's chosen to actively embrace what was once forsaken, or once, that chaos that was supposed to be guarded against, and is now probably, quite possibly, the greatest threat to the realm that the realm has ever seen. So big, scary.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen from just the teaser campaigns, she's not to be reckoned with. And there she is!
And there she is.
She's such an evil lady. Now, one vibe I always got.
Aquí
and
la
we'll see it
tenemos
here
por
when,
fin
we
ya
show off
dentro
her
del juego.
moves, Is it made me think of
Se ven un
almost like
poquito
a
más pálidos los colores de lo que esperaba. Me
ballerinas,
hubiesen gustado un poquito
like her
más vivos,
animations
los
and
rojos.
stuff, like very graceful, but deadly, right? Like
Yeah, I know
divine and
the animation team used a lot of dancing and ballerina as inspiration for how she moves around and uses her scythe and other abilities. So it's a very fluid combat style, gameplay wise.
Se ve bien el emote ese.
So much fun to play.
Vamos a ver que muestran alguna habilidad.
Kevin, if you
want
want
to just start,
Kevin,
rolling
let's
through some
run
of the
abilities. It's all you.
Let's do it. So, if you've not heard, she is a flank champion.
Confirmado es flanker.
2000.
Un flank.
And she has a passive. So you see the UI elements there under her reticle. Her passive is darkness. So hits against an enemy.
Ahí vemos su arma, una guadaña.
Provide a stack of darkness to you. Using Dark Siphon or Obliteration, which are two of her other abilities, will consume all stacks, regardless of the number of stacks you have, healing you for 100 over 1 second per stack. And if you have maximum stacks, you actually augment those other abilities as well.
Tiene ese ataque extraño que va como que haciendo daño.
So with the weapon that you see our cameraman showing off right now, Deadly Scythe, the Vora sends out projectiles that deal damage over a short duration in addition to initial damage, with a unique attack chain that we can show off here with a medium, light, light, heavy.
Yeah, if we just want to run through
Al parecer se le junta una barra y empieza a hacer más daño.
Oh, let's just run through the attack chain.
Yeah, we can just run through the attack chain. 470 damage every 1 second on the medium hit. The light hits 300 damage every 0.35 seconds. And then heavy 680 every 1.2
Digo, por ahora ese ataque pues se ve bastante normalito.
The attack chain is not interrupted by other
No
abilities,
estoy seguro qué está pasando, hasta parece... Digo,
your
parece
own
un
way of playing.
poco daño, no
Makes for
sé.
some very fluid gameplay.
No entiendo bien todavía qué
We
es
can show
esta
off
habilidad.
the first ability, which is the alt fire.
Vamos a ver su primera habilidad.
So essentially, you jump up and slash down around you, dealing 500 damage and applying a small knockback to enemies hit. While using this ability, this is the real kick.
Muy,
While
muy
using this
extraña
ability,
la
you are immune
habilidad.
to damage and crowd control. So for all intents and purposes, this provides you iframes during
500
the
de
ability.
daño.
Using Obliteration with 5 stacks of your passive, Darkness, will deal an additional 300 damage and will slow enemies hit by 30% for 2 seconds.
Mira, al parecer tus habilidades son más fuertes cuando tienes esos 5 puntitos. Si tienes los 5 puntitos, haces 500 más 300 de daño en bonus y además ralentizas al enemigo, ahí como ven.
Dark Siphon launches a vicious projectile from your scythe, which deals 200 damage on hit and an additional 400 damage over 1.5 seconds. Hitting an enemy also causes you to regenerate 300 health over 2 seconds, so almost effectively a health siphon. Using this ability with maximum darkness stacks,
otro ataque, miren, ya lo que veo.
The enemy hit,
tiene ella lo que hace es que hace daño y también se está curando al mismo tiempo.
Preventing use of movement abilities.
O sea, es como que comparte las habilidades de curación de Ayo o algo así.
Although I absolutely hate playing against, when I do the playtest with you guys, I hate when Waddles is playing her, and he's on the other team.
O sea, va a ser un flanco con muy buena...
I get dead because I'm like usually playing as like IO trying to support
self-sustain, o sea que se puede mantener vivo por sí solo. O sea, figura pareció lo que era capaz de hacer Koga hace mucho tiempo, pues.
Moving on to the next ability, her movement ability, ability 2, is called Tendril. Manifest your will, propelling yourself forward towards where you're looking, towards your target with the tendril. You can hit players to pull you to them as well. This is her mobility.
Su movilidad, también como dije, quien vio mi video de análisis, es muy parecida a la de Grover.
Now that kind of reminds me a little bit of Grover there. Was that any inspiration for it?
It's definitely in the same vein. We made yeah, definitely in the same vein. We made some changes or upgrades to how this functions. A little bit of tech that helps with not getting stuck on the ground if you're going forward. A little bit of tech for how it affects your movement in air, a little bit more air control, which allows for a little bit of drifting. But definitely the same vein, yeah.
I like here too. I just noticed we're on the Shattered Desert as well while we're in here. So.
Yeah, a little bit of lore there. This is indeed the area, and you could even say, if you wanted to, that this may be one of the seals that the Sacred Martial Order was supposed to be guarding.
Y bueno, también estamos viendo de una vez los cambios para el mapa de el desierto. Como ven, pues son muy pequeños. Creo que nomás son las flamitas rojas y no estoy seguro si las estatuas esas también cambiaron. Pero en sí nada sustancial.
Harbinger's Wrath. So this is one of my favorite abilities by far. Channel your wrath to hunt your enemies, which increases your movement speed significantly and decreases the damage you take. While pulling you back to kind of this really cool, we can go ahead and show off in game if we want, really cool camera. Selecting a target in range will hit them.
Esa es la ultimate, al parecer.
A bunch of CC, essentially, stun, cripple, all that good stuff. Should be anti-heal as well, 100% anti-heal. If they are above the health threshold, they will take damage. If they are below the health threshold, which I believe is 66% right now, they will be executed and play a different animation. Very cinematic, very cool.
No estoy seguro qué es lo que se está utilizando, la verdad.
Punch Fernando a little bit, see if we can get him below that threshold. That hunter-killer vibe, I think, really
Me imagino
really
que
plays
esa es
well
la
here.
ultimate, al parecer es como una especie de...
when she goes up and kills
Te
them, I'm
haces...
terrified.
Te haces invulnerable mientras estás en esa animación.
This ability lasts for 5
Y puedes
seconds
matar a
and can
un
be
enemigo que
refired to
está
cancel.
a baja salud, parecido a lo que hace
that's the gist of her kit.
Maeve con Street Justice.
Very quickly, I can just talk about. I don't think we need to necessarily show off any of the talents, but I can talk about.
Está muy bien la habilidad porque ahorita el otro uso que le estoy viendo es que como eres invulnerable, pues te va a servir para huir.
10% of maximum health damage to enemies hit by her Dark Siphon, which is her projectile. One of her talents. When you hit enemies with obliteration, which is her alt fire, that jump up and slash down will silence enemies hit by obliteration for, I believe, 1.5 seconds. And then her third talent is essentially 2 charges of Tendril. So the ability to provide yourself a huge amount of mobility, be where you want to be on the battlefield, and use that in conjunction with some of her cards, which play into that ability.
Yeah. Let's go through some of her voice lines. I know we have only a little bit of time left, so we got to see the majority of what makes her in here. But let's hear some of these voice lines. I love her voice actor or actress, by the way.
Dance with me, partner. I'll take your breath away.
Who is the voice actress, Nico? Do you know?
I suppose you're not useless. I am the ram's last breath. All good things to those who wait.
Yeah. Huge shout out to, I believe it's Stephanie Panicello.
We must capture the objective.
Okay.
I believe this is her first time doing work for Paladins, but she absolutely nailed Vora. She did a fantastic job as Vora.
Aquí dejaron unas de sus líneas de voz, pero pues bueno, ahí tenemos también de fondo las flechas de Cassie que nomás no se callan. Miren, el emote ese es muy padre.
She's getting some love.
Vamos a ver unas de las skins que va a obtener.
First skin we're gonna show you is her Steel Guardian skin. This is a limited skin. This is the season pass, or no, this is
fancy.
Sorry. Galactic Conqueror. I'm sorry, I skipped the one. You can put it back up there. Sorry.
The one.
Galactic Conqueror. Sorry.
Vamos a ver esta Galactic es de la del pasado pues del
You'll
ahorita.
want this one, right? Especially if you had the
el de tipo Sailor Moon, ¿no? El de estrellas radiantes.
They need a villain.
Se ve extraña la skin, la verdad. Bueno, el arte por lo menos.
That is her.
Quizás porque no está acostumbrada a Vora, acostumbrado a Vora, perdón. Se ve extraña.
It is amazing.
That stellar crystal is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And then now we're gonna go into Steel Guardian. My bad, folks. This is the limited one. This is going to be, as many of you saw, the
Esta es como
card art
ya lo
of
adelantábamos.
the
La skin, bueno, con la paleta de colores de Ayo, de su antigua tribu o lo que sea.
When she was the Seal Guardian.
Esta también se ve muy, muy bien.
And will only be obtained in the Season Pass 2019-2020. It will become unobtainable after the Season Pass 2019-2020 has finished. So if you really like this skin, you will want to get that. If you already have the Season Pass, then you're set. You get it in there.
Al parecer se tiene que comprar el Season Pass, que es algo así. No estoy seguro, pero
version of the Seal Guardian. And this is also unlocked through the Season Pass as well. So you will not only be getting the first one, but also this if you have the Season Pass.
Otra, el Season Pass es algo que te da todos los campeones, pero por ejemplo, como uno ya los tiene todos, a mí no me gusta comprar esa cosa solamente por skins de recolors de varias skins. Y son limitadas, solamente se podrán obtener el 2020. Bueno, un poco una mala noticia, la verdad. Otra skin de Abyssal. Muy, muy padre esta.
This one, though, is the one that you can unlock with 200 crystals or 60,000 gold. So many of you are always like, what can I do with all this gold? Well,
esta se va a poder comprar con 60,000 de oro. O cristales, 200 cristales. Sí, güey, pinche Memo, güey, dijeron malos horarios, cabrón. ¿Qué se ha dicho? Pues ya un buen de cosas, güey. Pasaron las skins. Miren la skin de oro de Vora. Ya mostraron a Vora. Mostraron algunos cambios de balance, poquitos. Nomás a Vivian la van a nerfear medio feo. A Víctor le van a nerfear un poco para que no sea efectivo contra los flancos. A Corvus le van a mejorar algunas cosas. No mejorar, pero como... Ya vamos a poder ver hacia dónde se teletransporta y eso. ¿Y qué más han dicho? Mostraron también el mapa. Pues ya prácticamente todo. No sé qué más vayan a decir. Ya estamos por el final. Vora se ve bastante extraña, la verdad. Sus habilidades y eso.
Champs to work on, has, you know, so much iteration, so much fun, especially with the playtest with people.
Las skins, eso sí, güey, se ven perrísimas, güey. La de BK, la de Tyra y la de Shin están muy, muy chingones.
Because I think you guys will really enjoy her.
Yeah, from a design standpoint for a flank, I'm really excited. Since she doesn't have the traditional defensive abilities that you see from a lot of our flank characters, she's more reliant on utilizing your built-in lifesteal on abilities and the darkness passive. So figuring out how and when to use abilities and in what situation I think will be important to actually play her well at a high level. And she has a lot of really cool combinations, especially with the ability to tendril into obliteration down on top of someone and finish them off with your ultimate. So I'm excited for players to get their hands on it and see what people think.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been hands down my favorite teaser campaign that we've gotten to do, you know, like community, but I think it's because, like, I think personally one of the reasons why it turned out the best it's been for any of ours, just seeing the hype alone, is because of us working with the lore team. Like, you know, community, my end, we always have a role to do, and normally it's, you know, we try to get everyone involved, but like we really worked with, you know, Nico and the lore team a lot on this, and you know, I think we executed probably our best to date campaign with teasing Vora, getting the hype ready for her, and just seeing everyone's responses to everything has been so fun. We got our international people involved. I love it, and it just shows like what we truly love about this community when everyone comes together like that. So we appreciate you all, you know, buying into the hype too, because obviously Vora is worth all the hype. She is sick. But with that said, our conclusion of Vora, we have a couple things before ending the show. So thank you for sticking around. This is community content. So we will be doing a bunch of avatars again. I know some people are like, I wish I had more than this. Well, this is what we can do for
Al parecer ya nada más estos avatares de que hace la comunidad.
Avatars here
Muchos de Grover.
at different weekend bonus events that we have. So
Rayos,
different
hola a
XP,
todos. Como que
but you'll
muchos
also be able
pensamos
to
que iba a
unlock
ser a
things.
las
Obviously, the
12
first will be around Halloween, on
el
Halloween
stream,
with,
pero ya
the
prácticamente se
BV,
terminó. Lo hicieron una hora antes o
for
no sé,
Halloween,
salió
and
la
then we have
información
a
mal para
Hanukkah,
México o para
Kwanzaa,
algunos
and
países.
Christmas Grover avatar.
Eh,
And
pero bueno,
maybe
aquí en el
being new,
canal,
this is my favorite
en
one,
cuanto pueda.
folks. I don't know about you, Nico, Adonis,
¿Qué tal,
but
Damián?
baby ruckus New Year.
Les repito, ya
So,
mostraron
move
prácticamente
over.
todo. Mostraron
Hey, Yoda,
las
although I
4
do love the
skins
baby
para
child.
BK, para Tyra, para
Baby
Vivian, para
Ruckus.
Shin. Sus
So
recolors,
cute,
mostraron a
little
Vora, sus
summon.
habilidades. Vora
It's
viene
too
con
cute.
muchísimas
It's too cute.
recolors
And
de
these
su
will be free.
skin.
And then, as
También hay
you've
nueva
seen
skin
our,
para Round, por
our,
cierto, para
you know,
noviembre.
friends over at Smite,
Mostraron
and
el
their
nuevo mapa
recent
de
update
Guarida
announced
Gélida.
that they are going to be for October,
Como les digo,
celebrating LGBT History Month.
ya pasó,
And to commemorate
pero
that, we are adding a
voy a
variety of
traer
flags as
en
well,
cuanto
just
pueda.
like
Ahorita
Smite
voy a
did
trabajar en
to
eso en
our
unas horas.
game. So you will be able to get the
Ah,
asexual
¿qué onda,
pride,
mis
bisexual pride,
Etius?
lesbian pride,
Chido, güey,
non-binary
chingón.
pride, pansexual pride, and transgender pride
En unas horas voy a
avatars in
subir
this
acá al
update as well.
canal
They will all be available for 1 gold.
todo lo que mostraron, pues hay
And
un resumen
that's
de
all
las
you need to know for
skins y
that.
de Vora y de todo eso.
So other than this community content, we have just a final esport
¿Quiénes son
update.
los
Many of
otros
you
para
saw
que
that,
digan hola, para mandar saludos? Sé
Kyra's,
que está aquí el Tete,
Expo is
Memo,
not happening this year, but instead we are doing an online
Damián
version.
Setius, pero
And,
había otras
with
personas
that,
viendo el
we are
stream
also
que
going to be
nunca dejaron
having,
su hola.
the Paladins World Championships for esports, December 3rd through the 6th. So just make sure to pay attention, follow Paladins Pro on Twitter for any updates around that. My hat started falling off. With that being said, though, this has been quite the magical update. Any final words, Nico, Adonis?
Ya, al parecer ya fue todo. La de Ron va a ser como tipo... ahora, déjame ver ahorita si quieres hasta regreso. Ya se acabó, entonces regreso rápido el stream. Aquí la vemos. ¿Dónde está? Aquí está. Nada más mostraron el arte 3D, güey. Es este.
Be November 25th.
Ahí está. Es
So,
como tipo
look out for
navideña.
the
Ram no
Krampus.
sé qué
I
decían y
wouldn't
trae
get in his way.
en lugar
He
de
might knock
calaveras
you
estos
over.
regalos.
Other than that, I'm just gonna say here.
What I have
As
to listen
always.
to all day.
Come give your Bear King a hug.
Y estos,
I'm really
estos
excited for
están,
everyone to get
ella está
their hands
disfrazada de
on
Vivian,
the
este güey de
awesome
Shin
content
y
our
este de
entire
BK
team
para
has
que se den una
put
idea.
a lot of time, effort, and thought into. And to Vora, more specifically, always, I'm a designer, so I always love us trying new
Igual
ways
ustedes mismos
to
pueden regresar al
approach
stream
a
si
archetype
quieren ver aquí
of
lo
a
de
champion.
Vora,
So
está como
I'm
por aquí,
excited to see
miren, ahí
how,
está.
as a flank, this character
Hace
plays
15
out.
minutos, ahí está lo de Vora.
And yeah, folks.
Y las
make
skins,
sure you
nomás
keep
mostraron, aquí
following
están las
on
skins, aquí
social
fue la
media,
primera, la de
Paladins
Tyra.
Game on Twitter. You know, we'll keep posting more, and
La de
hopefully,
BK.
you know, we'll
La de BK
ride
está
out the rest of this year and make
perrísima,
sure if you want to
perrísima.
look for what's coming
Las
early
bombitas y todo
2021,
eso está
you
muy,
check
muy
out that
chingón.
roadmap that we put up on paladins.com/news that gives you a lot of info on what's to come. So, and there might be some stuff that we left out so that we surprise you with, you know, that showcase that we do every year, the High-Res Showcase. So you'll want to stick tight for that. We still have surprises on the way that we haven't told you about. So with that said, we're going to sign off. Thank you for joining us on this Vora's Pact, Arcane Pacts journey this time.
Al parecer ya fue todo ahí,
So
entonces...
I don't have
Tete,
any
te
real
perdiste
final words other
de
than,
Vora, güey. Te fuiste
you
justo
know,
cuando mostraron a Vora y todas sus
which
skins.
was which? No, I'm just kidding.
No, de
For
Rap
real,
nomás
though,
mostraron
it's been a pleasure. Cut my mic.
la del arte 3D. Pues ya fue todo, muchachos. Muchas gracias a Tete, a Setius Damián, a Guille, al Memo Marín, a Luncani y quien sea que hayan sido las otras dos personas. ¿De quién, güey? De Vora sí mostraron sus poderes. De Ram no mostraron nada. Ánimo pues muchachos, ahí gracias por ver. Les digo que regresan el stream y pueden verlo. Ahorita yo voy a ponerme a hacer los videos para subir. En resumen todo. Ahorita ya, mijo. Ahí los veo, pues.